Welcome back to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life radio podcast and television show. I'm your host, Life Coach Renee Young, and sitting in the guest chair today is Tim Flatt, CEO of RTVA Inc. And Tim and I today are going to be talking about an exciting new discovery. It's called the Real-Time Voice Analyzer, the most advanced COVID screening tool available today. So welcome, Tim.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yes. All right. So let me give you guys a short introduction. Tim Flatt is a six-time entrepreneur who successfully started and sold 4 niche businesses. He had business revenue of over $100 million in combined revenues by the time he was 35 and over $250 million by his 60th birthday. Presently, he's heading up 2 projects. He is CEO and co-founder of Real-Time Pain Relief, a trusted manufacturer of fast-acting pain relief lotions since 1998. And Tim is also the CEO of a new startup, Real-Time Voice Analyzer, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So let me give you a brief introduction to what this Real-Time Voice Analyzer is. The Real-Time Voice Analyzer, also called RTVA, is an advanced AI screening app that utilizes voice biomarkers and AI algorithms to detect airborne respiratory viruses, including COVID-19 and its variants, and even some strains of influenza and the common cold. RTVA is powered by 2 patent-pending technologies that quickly and accurately identify viruses by the sound of your voice, like a doctor using a stethoscope to detect irregularities in your vital organs. It's amazing. You know, I have a recent COVID story that I want to, share before I bring Tim on. But, this COVID-19 stuff is still happening. When I got mine like a week before, I saw them saying that there's 4,000 new cases, it started again. And I went home to Toronto to visit my family for their Thanksgiving. And, when I left, the plane was empty. There was no one sitting beside me. I got to Toronto. Everything was fine. But like a day after I came back, I started getting symptoms. And, while I was leaving, I was hugging everybody and kissing everybody. And I was really worried that I had given it to my mom, who's 85 and has a compromised immune system, my sister, who has cancer right now and is taking chemotherapy treatments and do not want to get COVID, and my grandbaby, who was born 4 months premature, so her lungs are still developing. Thank goodness none of them caught it, and I still don't know where I got it from. But the point of the story is, with an app that you carry around in your hand, it is an awesome thing to be able to, you got symptoms, you feel, sick, whatever it is that makes you want to check. And what that allows you to do is stop the spread, because how is COVID spreading? People don't know they have it, like me, and pass it on. So Tim, that was an intro to your product. So tell us, as we start off, what is the scientific research behind the Real-Time Voice Analyzer with testing, with the, strains for COVID and the flu?
Okay. So Dr. Rita Singh from Carnegie Mellon University, and she heads up a project up there, and they began testing for RSV about 6 years before COVID. They started a project to see if they'd be able to detect it, because of course they've been able to detect so many other things by voice, and they've been used with the FBI and the CIA. So they thought, let's do something that's really positive. So they started working on RSV, and didn't have really the money to get the project all the way done, but they knew it worked. They just didn't have all the testing done. Well, then COVID hit. So they switched over to COVID, started focusing on it. And so they were able to file for a patent on it. In the meantime, there's been studies done that determine that agree with this, that from Cambridge University, from Yale, from MIT, from the University of Netherlands. So there's been a lot of different studies that have come out that show that you can determine your vocal folds they can determine if you have a virus, because the virus kind of sits on your vocal folds or on your voice, and so it picks it up. And they say it's smaller than a molecule of water, but it is able to determine that virus. And they specifically looked into and focused on COVID. It will pick up some strains of other coronaviruses, some strains of the flu, and some strains of the common cold, because they're close enough to COVID, but it's mainly focused on COVID-19 and its variants.
Okay. So I'm aware of the voice thing because, I have a friend that told me that she's got this machine. And where does she live? I don't remember, Minnesota or someplace. So she called me and she said she's got this new machine that she can do an IO scan. And an IO scan, when I did the scan, I start off by saying my name, right? And then this frequency of her being in Minnesota and me being in Florida, this frequency was able to pick up everything in my body. So I know there's a lot of stuff going on there. And it was basically started off by my voice. And I was talking into, my phone. We had, she had this frequency thing. So I understand that. So can you go into a little more detail of what exactly the science is with being able to a voice in a phone, being able to pick up through a speaker, being able to pick up viruses, and also being able to scan your body for diseases?
Sure.
Go into more detail on that.
Okay, so you mentioned at the beginning the stethoscope. And so with the stethoscope, they figured out, they basically trained the doctor's ear. When he listens to the heart, he could pick up whether or not he hears a murmur, he hears different things. So it's a screening tool. From that, he never makes a final diagnosis. He says, hey, you need to go get an EKG, or we need to take an x-ray for your lungs. You might have pneumonia. Okay. Because they can hear it in there, but they're trained. So imagine that started 200 years ago. So for 200 years, they've been listening inside our body to hear disease. Now, what they're able to do, and of course, say with algorithms and AI, what they are able to do is determine and hear it even a level that the human ear would not be able to pick it up. And they were able to do it. And then they'd be able to develop an algorithm so they can hear it in certain sounds. Okay. Mm-hmm. So in the test, you say, for example, one of the things you say is tree, and you hold it for 5 seconds. So it goes tree, and they will pick that up. And so that it goes into the algorithm, and then the AI can determine whether or not you have a virus on your connected to your vocal fold, and that's how it picks it up. And so it's just an expansion, really, almost like at the stethoscope, but just in the voice and in your voice. We say voice because that makes sense, but the technical term is vocal fold, and it's picking up the actual virus. And so any contagious virus, eventually over time, we believe that they'll be able to, as the AI gets smarter, and they'll be able to create algorithms, they'll actually be able to determine additional things, like determine, hey, they have bronchitis, or they have asthma, that's an asthma, or that's sinuses, whatever it might be. If it's connected to the voice, as time goes on, don't be surprised if 5 years from now, our device isn't in a situation. Well, now we're a screening tool right now, but we may become a medical device. But initially, we're a screening tool, and we're not designed for a diagnosis or cure or treatment. We're designed to give you an early warning that says, hey, you have something that's contagious. It's probably COVID.
Okay. All right. So it's been fine-tuned. This year app has been fine-tuned to pick up the COVID-19 virus and maybe some of the ones that are similar. So yeah, it's like gene therapy. It's digging deep into the details of it. And so does it work at all in frequency or just tone? I mean, it's probably the same thing.
Yeah, and the one thing I have to tell you is I'm not a scientist. So
Okay.
I don't want to answer. I don't want to answer that because I'm sure I'll get it wrong. And somewhere
Okay.
scientists will not be happy with me. So I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's all right. So let's move along. It's just my curiosity.
Yes.
So has there been clinical studies? Is this app live? Can people, go on right now and start getting their COVID test? Has there been clinical studies? Because I know in
Sure.
order for you to bring out something, it has to have clinical studies. Right?
So let's start with this. We did clinics in the Philippines, India, and the US. And we did them. They were done by Hematico, our technology partner. So Hematico team with Dr. Singh, and they brought to us a final product that has 2 patents on it that we were able to take our app, create an app, and tap into it. And so they're the technology side of it. But what they did was they went out and they went in, and just to give an example, I know when they first went out, it was detecting COVID at 66%. So what they did is they went in, everybody walked in, they gave them to the clinic, they gave them a test, and then they would give them a PCR test. All right. And they would, and then say, okay, and they would analyze it, and they got it up to where it's 94.7% accurate on positive and 99.1% on the negative predictability. So it's higher than any of the rapid tests out there. And so that's how it got done. So yeah, we have it live in an app right now. It's what's great about the app that we're doing with it. I think this is our big selling point, is we're giving it away for free and to get started. And what we're doing is we're giving you 10 tests when you sign up, and then you can use those the first month. You could share them with other people. You can take them on your phone. There's tags, so you can set up where you could take it, and your daughter could take it, and your wife could take it. You can have 3 tags in there. And then what you do is you, after the first month is over, you get 1 test a month every month for the next 12 months or 11 months. So you get 21 free tests. And this is the important part. We don't take your credit card. All right. When you sign up, we don't take any financial information. We're against the offers that say free, let me get your credit card. Because that never really means free.
Right?
That means free for the moment, right? So we say free. If we earn your business, if you like the test, if you like the way the screening goes, if you like what we do, then you'll come back and you'll put your card in and make a purchase. The great thing about it is the most expensive price for our test is just under $1 per screening test. So, you get 10 tests for $9.95. Well, I don't think you can buy a single rapid test for $9.95. And you get exactly one.
Walgreens. I was just in Walgreens a minute ago, and they were selling COVID tests. And I looked at it and I thought, you know what? I should keep one of these things at home. And I looked at it and it was $22. So yes, yours is good.
Yeah. Well, and here's the deal with our 10 tests, you get 1 less nasal swab as well.
What do you mean?
Well, you don't have to put anything up your nose, right? With the nasal swab that you have to take with the COVID test. I mean, that's the worst part.
Yes.
Right. That's the worst part of COVID. I mean, it seems like, it was, yeah, I'm sorry. So I should have let you know I was going to try a joke.
In the beginning, they used to stick that thing up your nose, and oh my God, it was so painful, so horrible. And everybody didn't want to go do it. Now they don't stick it up your nose anymore. They're just running around your top. So that was good. I missed that. All right.
Yeah, it's interesting that they thought it had to go way up there to work, and now they say it doesn't. So I don't know. It's kind of fishy to me.
It was painful to watch.
Yeah, I cried.
Yes, when everybody was going to do it in the first time, you line up for 2 hours to get this test done, and you just watch the people from the army, and they stuck this thing right up your nose and then stick it up the next one. The first time I did that, I coughed and coughed, and my eyes ran. And
yeah, exactly, eyes watering. Well, the good news is none of that with our app. Okay, it's all really easy.
Into it, right? Yes,
that's right.
Yes. So that's amazing. All right. A little humor there. So do you have a target audience for this? Who are you targeting?
I wish I knew. I mean, I'm the marketing guy, right? That's what I have. There's a technology team They do all the hard work. I market. I don't know. I mean, I'm talking to everybody. You know why? Because I think everybody needs it. Everybody should want it. And the problem, I think that older people would use it more, except that their technology abilities are a little bit weaker. You know, my
Yeah.
mom's in her 80s and I helped her set it up and we got it done. It was a project, but we got it done.
Yeah.
And, you know, that the younger people, I think that college students, I mean, I think it's for everybody. I can't figure out who wouldn't want to use it and try it out. So right now we're saying until we know who the market is, you know, I have a history of that. When I came out with the real-time pain relief, the topical pain relief, we thought it was going to be for runners. That was our market. We're going to do runners and athletes and basketball players, whatever. And we did it for about 3 years. And all of a sudden, we looked at our customer base. Of course, back then it was a lot harder to figure out your customer base. I mean, it was different because you looked at your customer base, you saw them. It was before the internet sales, right?
Right.
So, and I was like, it seemed like everybody was buying our products like 65 to 75 years old. And we realized, you know what? People are using it for arthritis. So I guess what? We're an arthritis cream after all. We
Well,
would
you
have
know
liked to
something,
been
when I
a sports
read
cream.
that and
Yeah.
I saw real-time pain relief, that's where I went. I never thought of athletes. I went to older people.
Well, I was a little bit younger back then, you know, so I thought it was the right age group for it. So, but anyway, the point is now that that's the same thing here. We're just getting out, talking to people, you know, got our press release out. We're doing a lot of different organic things, and we'll see in maybe by about the middle of December, we're going to determine where our market is. We have downloads from 39 countries as of today, so we're worldwide. And once we know where our market is, then we'll start putting a little bit of sales behind it and see if I can't do my job and get a lot of downloads.
Well, it's really interesting. But, you know, when I asked the question, I would have thought that your target market would be the people that are, you know, dying from COVID with complications, or the elderly. But then I realized, exactly as you were talking, that most of, you know, the elderly are not app savvy. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you're correct. To college people, you know, yeah, your college kids are getting, the other day I heard that, you know, one of the colleges was shut down. This is just recently
Right.
because there was a COVID outbreak. So yeah, college students are definitely going to be one of your top markets, and the millennials that everybody, you know, has got millions of apps on their phone and they just like that. But yeah, but as you're right, as you spread the word, maybe a millennial is going to set it up for their, you know, their grandparent. You know, like my niece goes and sets up my mom,
Yeah.
you know, so that she can press a number and she can call people. She load her contacts in the phone and all that because she doesn't know how to do it. So someone is going to show them how to do it, because it's good for them to be able to get the test. So you're correct. Your market is a wide range from, you know, college students all the way to the elderly. So
I would agree. And I think it leans slightly female.
female as well, right? Huh. Okay.
I think it's I'm not saying dominant, but maybe 55, 45 women, because I think women are caregivers, you know, and so, you know, that's who's mainly going to be helping other people set up and stuff. So I think but I'll know. Ask me that question mid-December. Because at that point,
For
I
a
think
year in,
yeah,
right?
well, I'll
December
say I
might be a
know.
short sample.
Well, yeah, but I'll say I know because I have to start spending money on advertising and then
Okay.
bring back in a year and ask me if I really know
Really, really know,
at the right
right?
time.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Awesome. Now I have a question here. So let's say I go to Walgreens or I go to any of the COVID sites and I get tested positive. The next thing I know is, you know, I'm going to get a call from, you know, the local infectious disease people,
Right.
because they send that data because they need to keep track of it and all that. So let's say someone reads into your app and they get a positive result. First of all, two-part question. Do you send it anywhere, or the results kept private? And secondly, what do you guys tell them to do on the app?
Okay, great. Two great questions. So first of all, screening, it's a screening device, a screening tool. And so it's not, nothing's reported anywhere. Okay. So nothing goes outside there. And as a matter of fact, one of the things is that when you sign up for the app, you'll notice that you don't even have to, I think all you have to give is just your name and your email address. So it's not even like we keep a big database on you. All right. So that's the first thing, is that it goes nowhere. All right. The second thing is, you asked about what happens if you get a positive. And so what if you get a positive, here's what we're going to tell you to do. We're going to say the first thing you want to do is you want to drink a glass of water and wait 20 minutes and retake the test.
Mhm.
And you say, why do you want to do that? Well, if your vocal folds are dried out, your cords are dried out, it can give you a different, it can give you a false positive. And I had somebody say to me, well, that seems like the test doesn't work then. I said, well, if you were to take a blood pressure test right now, and you had just run up 10 flights of stairs, do you think that blood pressure test would be different than if you had been sitting there for the last 20 minutes watching TV? Well, it's a screening tool. So there are variations that you can do that will make it not work right. And one of them would be your voice be dried out. So that's the first thing. Let's make sure you test positive twice.
Right.
The second thing is that once you've tested positive, we say, remember, it's not designed for, it's not designed to diagnose, treat, or cure. All right. So we're going to say to you, here's some options that you might want to consider. One is, maybe you just want to rest. Number two would be, maybe you want to self-isolate, because no matter what it is, you do have something contagious. Because all respiratory viruses are contagious. So therefore, maybe, if you're going to head out for a big party tonight with all your friends, maybe you want to take the night off. Okay. The third thing you could do is, you would want to potentially do is to take a COVID test. All right. And probably a PCR, mainly because rapid tests run about 3 to 6 months behind in what their, the variant. So, and then the fourth is you could see the doctor. And, if you took the test and say, I really want to go to that party tonight, you could run down the store, buy a rapid test, take that, see how it comes down. But remember, if it's a new variant, it's not going to show there. And then you have a chance of spreading it. And COVID's not going away. It just isn't going away. At least not in our lifetime. People ask me that question, and I always just say influenza since 1918, right? We don't have a history of diseases coming and then disappearing. They maybe come and they're really bad, then they back off for a while, and then they get bigger and stronger strains, and they're bad again. So we're preparing for that long term.
Right. Well, I know that, yes. Everybody has said that the COVID is going to be like the influenza virus, and it's going to come back every year. And you're right, it's going to come with different strains and things like that. I don't know how these things become intelligent. They're like aliens.
It really is mind-boggling. I
Yeah.
agree with you completely on that.
It really is mind-boggling. So yes, it's going to be around for a while, and obviously that is why you guys would put, I would assume, millions of dollars into making this test, because that it's going to be around for a while, and just get because it's an app, you can also change it all the time and update it and things like that. So that's amazing. Now you mentioned that because it's a respiratory analyzer, it can also pick up the flu. Does it mistake the flu for COVID, or you don't have enough data to answer that?
Well, at this point here, it's just positive. It doesn't say which it is. All right. That's why you kind of have to analyze it. Now down the road, okay, it is going to, I should say is going to. The plan is that as technology and the AI and the algorithms increase, it may be able to distinguish it for you. But when it does, that will be another level. That's a few years down the road. Right now, it's just saying to you, hey, you have something that looks like COVID. But if you're sick, like you got the flu, and then you might just have the flu.
Right.
You can tell by check your symptoms and stuff. And that's the most important thing. Is the way I like to say is this: we got a 99.1% negative predictability rating. So that means that I had a meeting the other morning, and I just got back. I live in Puerto Rico. I just got back last week, and all of a sudden I get up on Tuesday morning and had a breakfast meeting at 8:30. It's 7 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, I don't feel that good, and I don't know if it's my sinuses. I don't know if it's COVID. I don't know what it is. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know if I should do this meeting. Man, I don't know what to do, man. All right. And of course, my wife says, man, I just wish I knew a way to take a COVID test on your phone. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So I get the app out, and I take the test, and sure enough, I'm negative. So that was great. So I was like, I decided while it's been, in the 3 minutes, 4 minutes while it was processing, I was like, okay, positive, I stay home. Negative, I go. Easy decision, not too complicated, because I don't want to give this guy COVID. Sure enough, I came back negative. I get to the meeting. I feel good about it, and that was great, because it was sinuses and stuff that you get allergies coming back to a tropical island.
Well, that's basically the thing, that I was saying at the beginning, that nobody ever thinks about that anymore. But in the past, when you go on a plane and you have to wear your mask, or you go in the airport and all that, you are constantly thinking that you're gonna catch COVID. A lot of people caught it in those circumstances. So you coming back from Puerto Rico and you're feeling, under the weather, it's good to be able to check. But yeah, I mean, are you going to go? The normal way is to go and make an appointment with, one of the testing facilities, and then go get the test, or maybe you might have a rapid test in the house. But you've got an app. It's a beautiful thing, and you checked it right away, and you're confident that with a negative test, you're not going to pass anything along. So that's basically what I was saying.
Yes.
That I was really worried because of the people that I was. And at a meeting, you normally only shake hands, but if you're going to a family event, you're hugging, you're getting close. That's right.
Yeah,
So you can pass
exactly.
these things along. Right.
I agree with you.
All right. So that's awesome. All right. So I think you mentioned earlier that you have a complimentary test program. But that's one of the questions I had here. Did you want to expand on that at all?
Well, I just go back to say it's really easy. You just simply, there's two ways you can get it. All right. You simply just go to the App Store and you look for real-time voice analyzer, download it. It's going to give you 10 free tests. That's only good on your first app on your phone. I mean, your first account per phone. But if your wife has a phone, you have a phone, your kids have a phone, everybody could get their own 10 free tests. All right. So you set that up first. And no credit card required. That's the most important thing. And you're good to go. And if you're an app person, that's really easy. If you're less of an app person, then we have a way to walk you through. You can just go to our website, and we might have a link out there for you. If not, just we're not real complicated. Our website name is realtimevoiceanalyzer.com. Our app is Real-Time Voice Analyzer. Our company is Real-Time Voice Analyzer. So think Real-Time Voice Analyzer. You can find us.
Yeah, that's great. Mm-hmm. All right. So that is the test program. Now, you also said that you have a link that you're offering. So do you want to talk about that now?
The link for the download?
Yeah, other than the App Store, do you have an extra link somewhere?
Yeah, you could do it through our website, or I've sent you a link if you're going to post that. I don't know but
right.
that would,
right.
Exactly. Yeah. Post that, and it should be there, and you can just click on that and go to that. It'll be very easy.
Okay. All right. So yes, I will have that link in the show notes, guys. So, if you don't want to look for it in the App Store, then you can just head to the show page, which is blog.myhelps.us, and click on the link. Now, you also have something on your site regarding sharing with an organization. How does it work for organizations, or does it?
Yeah, it does. So that's a really good point, because let's just say that this sounds really good to you, and it works. You try it, you like it. Well, you could go into your office where you work and ask, hey, can we send this out to all the employees? Because I'd love to be in a place where everybody had the option to take this before
Yeah,
they came to work,
that's
or
amazing.
it could be your church group. And it's the same link, right now, no matter what, it says that the expiration date is November 10th. We for that offer, but we're going to extend that until mid-December. So don't panic on that if you see November 10th. But yeah, you could share it with friends and family, but organizations, any part you're a group of, and you would like other people to have access to it. The links are there, and it's free to everybody who does it right now and gets involved. And we're not going to get rid of the free offer. We're just going to reduce it. We're not going to keep it at 10 tests down the road. But right now, we think it's a real good level to be at because we want to reward the early adopters to the program.
Right. Well, it's true. Yeah. Most people will give you like 1 or 2. You're right. 10 is a lot. Yeah. So I got it. All right. Well, I think that was all the questions that I had here. Is there anything else that I missed that you wanted to talk about?
Well, honestly, you did such a great job in your introduction that you covered things so well. I thought, well, that was great. I don't probably even have to say anything yet, but you did find good questions to ask me too. So it all worked out very, very well.
Okay, so that's awesome. Well, all right, guys. Well, all right. So last couple of questions. We got your website, which is realtimevoiceanalyzer.com. We've got the app name where you can go on any of the app stores and download it. It's called the Real Time Voice Analyzer as well. Now, are you in social media at all? Are you like, marketing this on social media? Do you have a handle that you want to share?
All of our are going to be the same. It's going to either be Real Time Voice Analyzer or RTVA. Of course, we have Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn and everything else. So
Okay.
Facebook. So we're there.
Okay. That's all right. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Transforming Your Mind to Transform Your Life. Listen, COVID is still here. I've had it. Tim was saying he thought he had it the other day when he traveled. Yeah, it's the hospitals are getting full again of COVID because we're coming into the cold season. We're coming into the flu season. And here is something that you can get on your phone, an app that you can just speak into, and it will be able to tell you if you've got something on your vocal cords. And if you got a positive result, then it puts caution. You're not widely going around thinking that everything is okay with you and infecting other people, because this is the lifeblood of these infectious diseases. Infectious is in their name, and they want to infect people. And I got COVID, and I have no idea where I got it from. So obviously, I think what they're saying is these new strains are more contagious. I wasn't by anybody that I thought was coughing or sneezing. I sat no one on the plane. So I'm still baffled how I got it. And so, yes. So this is an incredible invention. It's an incredible something that AI can do. AI is just revolutionizing everything. So I'm glad that I was able to bring this information to you. Definitely go and do something about it. We're coming into the flu season and the COVID season, and you need to protect your loved ones and protect your inner circle. So Tim, thanks again for coming on the show and sharing your and spreading the word on your app. I'm glad that you're saying it's, you said it's in 39 countries and this podcast is in 56 countries. So
there you go. We're going to
so
catch
I'll
up to you.
some more.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for having me.
You're very welcome. I'll get you some more customers here. All right. Well, thanks again for tuning in, and thank you, Tim, for coming on. And until next time, namaste.
Thank you.